what we need to do today is to take it to make sure that
He's fine. Were you going to go to the hospital? I just called the hospital and we're going to the hospital to 7. It doesn't matter. Kaiser, Kaiser. We can go to Kaiser together. This is my baby. You have the order?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, can we see them, please?
When she sees it, so she put it on.
You don't even have the right to bring in my order. I just called the lawyer. I called the lawyer.
Here's the order here.
Okay, we're going together to the hospital.
And he needs ongoing medical attention, and we instructed to put him in protective custody.
Okay, listen.
Okay.
I didn't know.
Okay, look over real quick.
Anna, you can get your baby back. You'll be able to visit him, but he needs medical attention.
Okay, let me finish up. We went yesterday.
Real quick, why don't you look over that?
I will. Can I finish up, please? Can we?
Look over that.
We went yesterday to the hospital. I did not finish up reading that.
Okay, you gotta let go of the baby, okay? Listen, if you don't, we're going to take you to jail. Because right now, you're delaying and you're
No,
going to be
I
resisting.
called the hospital.
Don't go, you're going to go to jail, okay? So let go
Don't
of
put
the
your
baby.
baby, don't put your baby through this.
So I'm gonna grab your baby and don't resist and don't fight me, okay? So move your hands.
Please.
Move your hands.
He's gonna be fine. He's
Come on,
gonna be
man.
fine.
Where is he going to be?
I will tell you.
Where is he going to be?
He's going to a hospital.
Which one? Which
You'll
one?
be able to visit. Okay,
Which
we're
one?
going to schedule visits.
Which one?
We're not going to tell you right now because I don't think you're acting, rationally right now.
They told us that we gotta bring him to the hospital.
Do you have the Kaiser paperwork?
Yes, I do.
Let me take a look at that.
And now the parents are getting ready to sue. Joining me now, Mark Eiglarsh, former prosecutor, now defense attorney, Faith Jenkins, former prosecutor, and Dr. Mark Siegels with our Fox News Medical A-team. They're getting ready to sue, and if I were that mother, Mark Eiglarsh, I would sue them for all they are worth.
Megan, I would help them pro bono. I'm outraged by the video, but some of the facts that weren't discussed are compelling. They saw a nurse in the ICU give their baby antibiotics, and a doctor had told that nurse not to give the baby antibiotics. So they had every reason to question this hospital. Any reasonable parent should have and could have taken them for a second opinion. Cops got there, doctors say the baby's fine, but nevertheless, they come the next day. This is outrageous.
What's crazy is they didn't take that baby out of the first hospital and bring him home and ignore his heart condition. They took him to another hospital.
Yes.
Whereupon a doctor gave him a note saying these are good parents, the child's fine, we'll pursue the care. And the next day after bringing him home, pursuant to that doctor's blessing, the cop showed up and took him. Faith?
You know what, Megan? Doctors are mandated reporters when they see that there may be an issue about a child's care. And here, it's not what they did, it's how they did it. They removed this 5-month-old baby from intensive care. As you can imagine, this baby probably had tubes, a heart monitor hooked up to him. They took the baby on their own without waiting for the hospital's approval to perhaps see if he could be safely transferred to another hospital. They took the measures into their own hands and transferred him on their own. That's the problem here.
Dr. Siegel, your thoughts?
You know, I actually think Faith's making a great point here. First of all, Sutter Memorial Hospital is known for its pediatric heart surgery. It's the first in the region. It's the top in the region.
Well, this couple didn't think they were giving their son adequate care.
Absolutely, and they may very well have been misinformed, and they may very well have been on to bad care. But the issue here, Megan, is how stable the baby was. You know, flu kills infants, and if that was influenza, and if this baby had a ventricular septal defect, which is the most likely heart abnormality, if the baby was in heart failure, the baby could have been very well been unstable, and the hospital has an obligation to not let a baby like that out of its hands.
But
because
Mark,
the, baby
the
could
parents
die.
have an obligation when they see the nurse giving medication to the baby, which a nurse was at Sutter, according to the parents and the lawyer, that she shouldn't be giving him.
I agree. This whole zero tolerance mentality really means no common sense when you have a second hospital, doctors who told police when they showed up the baby was fine. They just stepped over the line.
There's much more to discuss, many more points that we have to get into. We'll do it right after the break. Mark, the lawyer for the parents told me that everybody's exposed here. He sounds like he's going after cops, Division of Child and Family Services, and the first hospital. Who do you think is the real culprit here?
Well, I have a problem with Child Protective Services. They knew via law enforcement that the second hospital, the doctors there said there's no safety concern for the child. That information was known. The problem is suing government entities is not easy. If it was, they'd all be bankrupt.
Faith, I hate to come down too hard on the cops and CPS, who I assume were acting in good faith, but someone should be held accountable for what happened here.
But Megan, when medical issues are involved, Child Protective Services, that basically raises the stakes. And Child Protective Services are going to act quickly and swiftly. They absolutely have to investigate this. And when they get a call from Sutter Hospital, the first hospital, and the doctor tells them this child should not have been released, this child needs to be in care and needs heart surgery, which I understand he's now going to get at another hospital, they have to investigate that and perhaps take that child away to make sure the child is getting the medical care that he or she needs.
Let me just go back to Mark on that quickly before I bring in Dr. Siegel for the final question. Your thoughts on that, Mark Eiglarsh, on Faith's point?
She was telling them there's a second doctor. So they could have said, all right, we're not going to do the extraordinary step of taking your child away. Let's do some follow-up investigation. Instead, no, we're here, we're taking the child. That shouldn't have happened.
Dr. Siegel, if your child is sick in the hospital and you see, she says she witnessed the nurse give the baby antibiotics after the doctor said, don't give him antibiotics. And the mother said, what are you giving him antibiotics for? And the nurse said, I don't know. And it was around that point that the mother said, I'm not feeling that good about this hospital. That's the mother's story. What do you do if you want your child out, you want a second opinion, but the hospital's saying he is not fit to leave?
Your Honor, it's a very emotional situation. I kind of agree with Mark about Child Protective Services being very brutal and over the line. But the bottom line here is that the first hospital has a right to protect the patient, and the family, no matter how much they feel badly about this, are not in a position to make medical judgments about whether the infant is unstable. The infant could have died.
Panel, thank you all. We'll be right back.